Okay, students. Now, in problem number 4, this is a word problem. And in this word problem, it's not so bad if once you write out the equations. And I think that was part of the problem. See, in the first sentence it says the sum. Okay, you already know sum's addition. So the sum of x and y is 220. So really it's just x plus y equal 220. Now, the next sentence says, well, if x was divided by 4, really. So if I would have a fraction, I would have x divided by 4, and the result equals y. Well, if that's the case, then I have my equations. Why don't I substitute? Now, I think another issue is, if you know what x equals, you may not know what y would be. So, well, let's see what actually happens here. All right. So, if x plus y equals 220, and letter A says x is equal to 44, then what I would do, and instead of x plus y equals 220, I would say 44 plus y equals 220. Well, if I subtract 44 on both sides, I would wind up with y equals 176. Now, if that's the case, I could substitute both of those values into x plus 4 equals y, and it would work. So let's see if that actually happens. So I'll copy this equation down, and I'll replace x with 44, and I'll replace y with 176. I don't really think that's going to work, because 44 divided by 4 is 11. So let's try something else. Let's try 55. Now, if I tried 55 plus y equals 220, and I subtracted 55 on both sides, I would have 165. And in this case, I would replace x with 55, and replace y with 165. I don't think that's going to work either. So let's keep going. Let's replace x with 165, and in this case, y would be 55. Because, 220 minus 165. But, it doesn't work at all, because if I replace x with 165, 165 doesn't even divide into 4. So I got one last option. Let's try 176. So I have 176 plus y equals 220. Y would be 44. And 176 divided by 4, that would be 44. So do keep in mind, just because it didn't give you an equation doesn't mean that an equation doesn't exist. You just might actually have to write it down from English words to symbols, and then try your substitution techniques. I hope this helps.